Good afternoon, traders. It is Tuesday, September 17th, 2019, and the U.S. stock market is closed. Hey, we got clobbered today. All I can say is I'm really glad we had those big profits at the beginning of the month because the last 3 days have been 3 or 4 days. I think 4 days. Yeah, this would have been the fourth day. The first 3 days were all losers, but they were fairly small losers. Today we had a big loser. Yeah, and the the statistics speak for themselves. We had positive $8,000 or something on the close yesterday. We closed all those positions out with negative 24,000. Yeah, we went from positive 8,000 to negative 24,000. Um, this was one of those days that we could have saved about $20,000 if we had just pulled the ripcord as soon as the bell sounded this morning and got out of everything. We could have limited our damage quite a bit, but it just things just went to hell in those first 45 minutes of the day, and we really got slammed pretty bad. Um, we got into 7 new positions. Actually, one of those was a holdover from yesterday. 6 new positions plus the holdover. 7 positions, 5 were positive, 2 negative, and we are I I don't know what to say about this. We're again holding positive over $8,000 in open trade, and if you're a real pessimist, you think, well, the same thing's going to happen tomorrow. Well, the same thing will not happen tomorrow. Um, been doing this long enough that I would say it's very likely that we'll see the opposite happen tomorrow, and we'll actually see the um, that $8,000 become more profit rather than less. But I'm not predicting anything. I'm just saying that's the way it usually goes. But I'm not going to lose sleep tonight. That again, we're going to see $8,000 go down to $20,000 something in losses tomorrow. That will not happen. But nevertheless, we have taken a real hit here today. What happened was we were almost all our profits from yesterday. Let me just review the day. Yesterday was 70 minutes to go in the day. We had $15,000 in open trade profits. And in the last 70 minutes of the day, that shrunk by half. So we only had 8,000. I was worried about that, particularly since all these profits were in one sector, all in energy, and overnight energy reversed. The oil prices fell and took everything down with it, and so we opened. It opened this morning. Then the selling just was unbelievable. For the first 15 minutes of the day, the selling was unbelievable, and it continued. By the time we got out, yeah, we were really slammed. So uh, it happens, and all I can say is I'm glad we have all those profits from the beginning of the month. So still, for as far as the month goes, we're not in bad shape, and there's a good chance this will turn around. We'll see more profits, hopefully, between now and the end of the month. But bad day. Let me just show you one of the trades today uh, that kind of shows you what happened here. This actually was our worst trade, but the same pattern was repeated in virtually every stock that we were holding. This is CGEV, Continental Resource Development, Inc., and this thing gapped way up this morning or yesterday, and we bought it. And we bought a whole bunch of energy stuff just like that. Big gaps up, we bought the gap, and that's always scary. And then it did make a little bit of headway, but then pulled back toward the close. So we were basically break even for this thing on the close. But you see where it opened? I mean, we're not too far from break even on the very open this morning. And that's what I say. If we just would have pulled the plug right on the opening bell, we would have done much better. But it just plunged this last or first 45 minutes. So we're stopped out down there. So we went from being just a little below break even there to being negative $5,700 by the time we get out. And this pattern was repeated over virtually all the stocks that we were holding from yesterday. So it was a massacre day, really bad. All right, I will show you one good stock, and this was one that we actually entered yesterday along with everything else. For some reason, yesterday, SunPower Corporation opens up along with oil stocks. Didn't do anything the rest of the day. We actually closed there with a small loss, but SunPower just screamed today, and actually closing there fairly close to its high, and we are holding positive $5,700 in that one stock, and that's where most of our open trade profits are going into tomorrow. So let's hope we don't get a reverse in SunPower. Anyway, bad day. I'm not saying Trader Bob's happy, but you know, these things do happen. I'll be back here tomorrow on Wednesday trading as usual.